is the Rangers Journal night.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rangers Journal post-match reaction. I don't know what else to say.
We are the people!
There you go. We are the people.
Never in doubt.
So just before we get in, the pod is sponsored by Off to the Match I Go. If you apply the promo code Journal10 at checkout, you will get a 10% discount. With me this afternoon, I've got Cammy. Cammy, it feels like we've waited years for this bloody opportunity to do a successful Old Firm.
Buzzing, honestly, absolutely buzzing. Proud. I spoke about before the game about being proud of this Rangers team, and that's what they've done today. They've restored pride, and I'm absolutely delighted for the players and for Barry. Absolutely fantastic. 2-0 up. It's like the momentum's with Celtic, 2-2, and then what a goal to win it. Absolutely top bins.
World class.
Rocket
launcher.
Fantastic. It's and I think we all deserve it. It's been a difficult season. We've done many a post match after after a poor result. So we should all enjoy that. You boys will certainly enjoy that. I know that.
Oh, aye.
They're already enjoying that.
You should be doing here.
Already enjoying it. Scotty, Dino, Ryan. Looks like you enjoyed that one, lads.
On day 3. Bouncy. Right,
As
Dave,
you can see,
thank
the
you for
lads
doing
there
the post-match,
certainly enjoyed
Gary.
the result.
Lovely seeing you. We'll see you soon, okay?
Cheers, lads. Enjoy.
Cheers, boys. Cheers. Okay, bro.
I think we know what they thought of the game anyway. So
it's good to know that they've had a bevy, that's for sure.
one or two, I think. One or two. So Cammy, obviously dream start, and we spoke about this on the pre-match, whether we should go at them from the off, whether we should kind of hold back and contain them. Bit of difference of opinion. I think we did go at them from the off, and if I remember rightly, I don't think they'd had hardly a touch before we scored our first one, other than to knock it out for the corner.
It was one of those, Dave, that I totally agreed with your approach. I just thought it was going to be difficult to do off the back of Thursday night. That's exactly the start, and that's the press, and that's the energy that you want to see. And I spoke about it on the post-match. Score the first goal. We scored the first goal, and I thought we were excellent in the opening period. They sort of came back into it a little bit, but I thought first half Rangers could have probably scored more than 2 goals, to be honest with you. With a wee bit of care, Cherny certainly should have scored.
Yep.
But fantastic start, great energy, and you know it was I think there was a when we won in Germany, it was Dreamland in Deutschland, but that was something special. I don't think anybody would have expected us to go 1-0 up so early and then to go 2-0 up, and it was a fantastic start and just what we needed.
That's it, mate. I think Dreamland in Deutschland and then Pleasure at the Piggery we'll go with. Polska touched on it here. I think it's a really good point, actually. Definitely looks like we've worked on corners. I think that was one of the things that Shirai was brought in to help with. And I think you've seen it pay dividends in a few games recently, but that was an incredible header from Nico Raskin for the first.
It's funny, but it's not the most scientific approach for a corner. You know, make the near post run and get the wee glance on it. And from a Celtic point of view, that's why you have men on the post, to be honest. You know, it's Rangers have lost goals like that many a time in the past, but that's when Nico scored another goal with his head. I thought Raskin was absolutely sensational today. After you know, I thought he was certainly my man in the match, and delighted for him again to get the goal off the back of obviously his international call up. So it's been a great few days for Nico. Brilliant.
It really was. Do you reckon Mitch might have been right that he might be a 10 million player now, Cammy? Lost you there, mate.
His ability is unquestioned, to be honest with you. He's but those sort of games where he's helping the turnovers, the tackles, his energy, all that sort of stuff. He isn't a playmaker in the sense of what I would call a number 6, but he's got so many qualities. And I think Barry himself said that Nico can go far.
Yeah,
Nico can go as far as he wants in the game. Top 5 league, I think, is undoubtedly going to be his ultimate goal. But let's enjoy him as a Rangers player. Another Old Firm victory for him, whether it's a dead rubber or not. Back-to-back wins against Celtic. It's about starting to believe those players that remain and come into next season. We've got one more Old Firm game to come. If you can finish with another victory, 3 on the bounce, and try to build confidence from there. But Nico, listen, £10 million for Nico would be the starting bid anyway. That just gets people to the table.
That's it, mate. And I think what you're saying there is right. You know, I'm sure after this we're going to hear about how this was just a dead rubber. It doesn't matter. Celtic are still going to win the league. Do you know what? They probably will still win the league. I'm 99% sure of that. But for me, there's no such thing as a dead rubber in an Old Firm. You know, there's always pride to play for, and we touched on this at the start. That has to be the very minimum that we expect, is that they go out there and that they play for some pride. And I think today, by and large, they did. You did mention about the kind of whether they could sustain that for the period. I thought we noticed that, especially as we came in the second half. I think it became quite apparent that they couldn't sustain that level for 90 minutes. I don't want to be too negative because obviously we've come out of that well win and we've waited God knows how many years for it. But do you think maybe Ferguson should have made those changes a little bit earlier? Because it seemed when he made the changes, especially bringing Lawrence and Igaman on, I thought it changed the complexion of the game a wee bit, gave us a bit of a foothold back in it.
Possibly. I think the thing for me was the Celtic scoring so early in the second half. I think that gave their crowd a massive lift. And I think that you're up against it, to be perfectly honest with you, when they've got the momentum and what have you. I think it was going to be impossible to sustain that level of press and energy for the course of the 90 minutes. But I think the biggest issue for me wouldn't be to be critical of the manager. I think it's the fact that Celtic have got their goal and got their tails up early in the second half, and it almost appeared inevitable that they got 2-2, and obviously when it went 2-2, then I'm sitting there going, I'll take 2-2 now, to be perfectly honest with you. But there's this Rangers squad's deservedly had criticism this year, but they deserve all the credit in the world for being 2-0 up, back to 2-2. They could have crumbled at that point, but the substitutions, you're quite right. The substitutions did help. That's why you have a reasonably strong bench, and it allows us to make those changes and freshen things up and bring certain players onto the park. But it's a great win. It's a great win, and honestly, Hamza's winner that's a goal fitting to win any game. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think I've seen messages popping up in the background while I've been on. Basically, Kai's quite delighted because if I remember right, back at the start of the season, me and him were on a pod together and he predicted that Igaman would get at least 10 this season. I think in hindsight, that's a pretty fair prediction. He certainly nailed that on. I just want to talk about Dessers for a minute. Poor game for me. And I think the key with Dessers, if I'm being totally honest, I heard Scott Arfield talking about this in commentary, and Dessers has got a good goal record, right? There's no getting away from that. Anyone that scores 20 goals in successive seasons, that's a hell of a good starting place. The problem is when it comes to these kind of high-profile fixtures, he can become quite anonymous. Do you think he should have been off at halftime? Would you have kept him on? Do you think it was the right move to keep him on? What's your thoughts on
I mean,
Dessers?
to be honest, I thought the substitution would have been, rather than Cherny going off, I thought it would have been Dessers and a straight swap, Dessers and Igaman. But obviously Cherny's body's still recovering for Thursday night. I think he was obviously, he wasn't in the best of shape sort of thing. But I think Scott Arfield nailed it. I think Neil Lennon spoke about it before the game. They both said exactly that about Cyril Dessers. At 2-2, he's got an opportunity, and that's the difference. Cyril Dessers' goal return is unquestioned, but score the winning goal in a cup final, score the winning goal in an Old Firm game, or they sort of thing. Those are the moments that take you that bit higher. Wasn't the big man's best day, but it's one of those. He's contributed to a great Rangers win, but I think the headlines will be for Hamza Igaman for an absolutely wonderful finish to win the game.
I think one thing that shouldn't be missed as well in all that is, as much as the goals were good, Paul's mentioned a cracking point here. That save from Butland, that Hatate shot, that I would suggest was a difference maker. I was quite critical of him in the group chat for his distribution. I thought that wasn't particularly great, and I think a few times, he kicked it straight into touch or straight to their players, but shot stopping today, certainly couldn't fault him for that. I thought he did well there. There was a couple other occasions as well where he looked really good. Do you think this goes some way to kind of capturing that early form that we saw from him?
I hope so, because he's obviously had a big night on Thursday, some big penalty saves. He's had some important saves today. The minor critique is obviously he's not brilliant with the ball at his feet, but that's today doesn't tell us anything that we don't already know. But to be honest with you, as somebody who grew up watching Andy Gorham at their place, Andy Gorham was fantastic, big saves. To get a result across there, your goalkeeper, your centre halves, everybody has to play their part. The goalkeeper has to make big saves, and Jack Butland did make some big saves. But it's I think the guys in the comments obviously are referencing his kicking. Yeah, it is a situation, but I don't think after a 3-2 win we can be too critical of him. He had big saves. Ultimately, that's his job, to keep the ball out the back of the net. So that's what Jack Butland has done today, and hopefully between now and the end of the season we start to see the best version of Jack Butland.
Yeah, this is it, mate. And I think, yes, you could potentially point to his kicking as being the cause of their second, I thought. But equally, he kept us in that game. So, swings and roundabouts, I would suggest. Let's face it, if he was amazing with the ball at his feet, amazing at shot stopping, he probably wouldn't be at Rangers playing his trade just now. So, worth remembering that as well. Just looking ahead then, Cammy, do you think this 3-5-2 kind of sets the blueprint of how we approach these higher level games now?
It's funny, but I think Scott Arfield was very good on his co-coms today. I thought he knows what he knows what he's talking about, and it did look. I think he said that in the first half, it looked as though this Rangers team had played this formation, the box of the four. It looked as though they'd played it, and I think it's obviously something that's just new. That's where Philip Clement and previous Rangers managers have failed, because they've been too stubborn and too arrogant, and such a philosophy. This is the way I'm going to play. Barry, and I'm not advocating Barry Ferguson as the next Rangers manager, but the next Rangers manager has to be similarly pragmatic and able to adapt formations and the way that you're going to play depending on the opposition. I thought that certainly helped us today. I mean, how many permutations did we have at the back with regard to the back three? Enciala came on, Proper came on, Balogun never lasted the distance. I think Proper was on the left, Proper was on the right, Suter was in the middle. So the players deserve credit for a lot of the in-game changes that they had to face. To be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I was always quite taken aback by Clement's remark when someone suggested to him about changing the formation, and he basically says, "Okay, it'll just confuse them." I mean, they're professional players; they should be able to adapt like that. And I think you saw the benefit of that adaptability today, and certainly that first leg against Fenerbahce.
See, to be honest with you, the nonsense that he came out with, that you would only have had one training session to practice it. Players should be able to adapt on minimal preparation time, and I think Barry said that in his press in recent days. This is a Rangers team that had a very set game plan and a set way of playing. That is one of the big things that I've taken from Barry Ferguson, that he is adaptable and able to. I don't think it's just Barry Ferguson, but I think the people round about him have had an influence as well. And moving forward, the next Rangers manager, whoever it may be, must be as pragmatic and flexible as that.
I'd agree with that. Totally agree. You all right, Scott? Are you back for more?
Aye, I'm back just to make a point, right? Like, watched that game today, and I give it time. Do not excuse the dog barking in the background, but because nobody's blaming him. But I'm just looking at that game today, and I'm like, these were 3-4 guys working for BBC, Go Radio, and elsewhere, right? Billy Dodds was a manager at Inverness, got them to the semi-finals, and we managed to go and beat them at Parkhead today. So, just a quick question to Cammy. So, is the gap that big that now we've had a philosophical manager in Philippe Clement and Michael Beale, and we've all these guys in charge that are paid big money, and I am not for one promoting Barry Ferguson for next Rangers manager, right? But what I'm saying is a Scottish guy not the way to go in terms of the way forward with the takeover. So we've just went to that, which is a famous Parkhead win for us, right? Now that's where I'm sitting feeling today. Like I sat and says to Ryan at half time, I'm out his back, and I'm like, if we're still winning like 2-1, I'm going to take the dog a walk. And he was like, aye mate, there's his harness, there's this, there's that. And I'm like, I get dead nervous during those fun games, right? I don't go to many matches because of that, but should we not be looking closer to home for the bread and butter, as Barry says? Barry says, and not looking like away from him. Like, but he has one away from him. He's put Jose Mourinho out of Europe, so should we not be? When do we judge him? When do we decide that who's the next guy to take charge? So it's a guy for, say it's Knutson for Bodo Glimt. He comes over and you're like, right, fine, we'll get behind him. But Barry's got it here now, and he's put a system in place that's won, right? It's only won 3 points. That's all I know. It's just a quick question to Cammy and you, Dave. Like, do we not just kind of park up, put our money where our mouth is, sign better players, and Ryan's come up with a Steven Gerrard scarf on me just now. So, like, what do you guys think of that? Do you guys not think that we should be at least looking at him? Like, I'm flirting with the idea. I'm not saying I want him. After that result today, do I want him? Potentially, because he showed flexibility. He showed that he knows what it takes to win the league. 2-1 him to Motherwell, like, aye, I know, but Dave, what do you think? I had to come in on it because like, it's not getting spoke about, but it should be getting spoke about because Barry's got us a big victory today. Like, with this squad of players, I mean, without swearing, look at the shite he's got in front of him. And he's got us one, right? He buried them in the first half, and then been able to make a change, and the winner that's come on has got as a winner in the second half. Like, what do you and Cam think of that, Dave?
So for me, I think it's not so important who the manager is, as Cammy says that they are pragmatic. I don't think that this isn't going to fix all our woes suddenly going to 3-5-2, but it's a
Right.
change that was needed. And
Right.
fair play to Ferguson, he's made it, right? There's going to be other games where 3-5-2 won't be the way to play. And again, you need that manager that's kind of willing to change it up,
But-
not sit wedded to one system like
But
Clement was.
Dave, two sports scene pundits, a Go Radio pundit, have made the change, and we've won at Parkhead. Right? Take a Motherwell result out of it. We've went and won at Parkhead today. Some we've not done for Katic in fucking 2000 and whatever. Like, I'm only playing devil's advocate. I'm only on to kind of pester these a wee bit, if that makes any sense.
From my point of view, it's just exactly what I said earlier. Barry Ferguson's doing everything possible to enhance his reputation. He spoke like I speak. He wants flexibility, all that
Aye,
sort of
your
stuff.
mate. Aye.
I think there should be. I think certainly there should be potentially within the backroom team. There certainly should be people that. I'm not saying understand the club and are Rangers
Aye.
men and all that sort of stuff, but I think they have to be people that are able to make changes and are able to have an influence. And I think that's Barry Ferguson will get all the credit, but the people round about him, as you reference, are equally as important.
Yeah, 100%. Aye.
For me, I was asked the question last night what it would take to be Barry Ferguson to be the next Rangers manager, and I said if he won the Europa League, I would still bow out having won the Europa League, but I just want Barry Ferguson to win as many games between now and the end of the season. Then it's up to the powers that be and the sporting director what they choose, and if they believe that Barry Ferguson, Neil McCann should be involved in a future. But I still don't believe, as enjoyable as today has been, I still don't believe that Barry Ferguson will be the next Rangers manager. But as Curry has said, I think people within the backroom team that understand Scottish football, and I think I've said this before, Rangers' problem isn't beating Celtic. This season has shown that. Rangers' problem is beating Motherwell, Kilmarnock, Aberdeen, all the teams that we should be beating. So that has to be, if between now and the end of the season, if Barry Ferguson can win the next 8 or 9 games, great. But I don't want to burst your suggestion, but I'm loving this for Barry. Delighted for Barry. I was telling my wee boy the story about Barry Ferguson getting sent off at Celtic Park and back under advocate, and then going out in Bothwell with his Rangers tracksuit on, and then getting arrested. I think the 47-year-old Barry Ferguson might have a quieter night tonight than swaggering up Bothwell High Street with his Rangers suit on. But he should enjoy it. He deserves it.
I think the other thing as well is, for me, you said it there, Cammy, beating Celtic is fantastic feeling, love it. But he needs to be doing it consistently against the dross as well. You know, the other teams in the league. And I think anyone that wants to come in, whether that's Ferguson, Knutson, Muscat, anyone else, it's that level of consistency that's most important next. It's no good beating Celtic and then losing to Motherwell.
Dave, can I come in? If that's okay. I just think that I look at what we need in terms of the league, and as Fergie says, in terms of our bread and butter, and
Pleasing.
we don't have that just now. Like,
Aye.
but the first 45 minutes today, Sterling get tore into my header, and we picked up yellow cards that made changes in formation at half time, and we won the game. So, and then in Europe, we've went now. We're talking 6 weeks here, right? I'm purely being hypothetical. I'm honestly coming onto your pod and I'm being an absolute knob, right? So I apologise for that. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like why not? We need somebody to make us better in Europe. Why bring somebody in like a backgrounder come on, right? And do the whole, like, aye, we done this, we done that. And like Fergie's went to 3-5-2, Fenerbahce 1-3-1, fine. Got it through on penalties, fine. Went to 3-5-2, see you later, mate. Cheers, pal. Went 3-5-2, Parkhead today. And he's won us the game, right? Now, that's under no pressure, no this, no that. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to build standards into these players. And I'm assuming it's an absolute masterstroke by the board when the season ticket sales are coming up, because we've not held back on the board to like, they're an absolute riot when it comes to like your season tickets coming up and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to ring you or not. When Fergie came in, you're like, I am ringing. Because that's what made sense, if that makes sense. So, to you and Cammy, like, if he's went and done this today, does it not even raise the question with you? Dave, come to you first and then go to Cammy, and then after that, I'll kind of wave and check out and have the bottle of Mad Dog in a beer. Like,
You're fine.
I'm literally into Story Pot and leave, mate, because I just think we're looking for a Scottish manager that's adaptable in Europe, and over the last 3 results, we've got one. Tell me if I'm
and
wrong.
like I said, that they have been cracking results, right? You can't get away from that. But for me, we need to see that consistency between now and the end of the season. If he's doing this and he is seeing off the dross, then okay, maybe you've got a question. If we go and then lose our next game, then you know everyone's going to be back to shark suit, kicking off, etc. So I think for me, it's the consistency is key, and we'll see how that goes the rest of the season. Cammy?
Aye,
Cammy, see, before you come in, can you get a wee plug of why you're running Manchester Liverpool next weekend? That's okay, or the weekend after.
Why I'm running it? Because I'm mental.
Aye. Right, we know you're mental, but there must be a charity involved somewhere.
Aye, there will be a charity involved, but I'm holding fire on that one until I get to the early part of April in one piece. I don't want to take any chances on that basis.
Cammy, see when you do, can we get a wee link in the description?
Of course.
Because you deserve it.
Of course.
Just come to say hello.
Of course.
Guys?
Brilliant.
Fantastic. What a day. Hold the torch high. We don't get the torch very often, but played for pride today and we won it.
All I've got to say, Ryan, is good luck.
Aye. Yeah, I've planned ahead. I've got tomorrow off work, so that's
I'm talking about looking after Scotty.
Aye, that's it. I heard he's a good swimmer, so you'll get him, no bother. See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Sorry, Cammy, out his aim. We're just.
I've absolutely no idea what the question was.
I know you're doing a 50-mile run for Liverpool to
Manchester to Liverpool.
Liverpool,
on the 18th of April, I'm running Manchester to Liverpool. It's the day after.
The link will be in the description.
Rangers play the second leg in Bilbao on the Thursday night, and then I run at 6 o'clock on the Friday morning. But the listeners and you guys will hear more about that early in April. But let's all just enjoy Rangers winning 3-2 against Celtic. Absolutely fantastic.
Give me it.
Let's enjoy it, and I can now watch the Carabao Cup final with a big, massive, cheesy grin on my face.
Yeah, I think that's the key, Cammy. We've had a hell of a season, if we're being honest. There's been a lot of shite through it, and I think today really is about, we spoke in the pre-match, players giving us a bit of pride back, and they did that today. I think everyone should enjoy it. You're absolutely right.
I think, see the 2,500 Rangers fans, I was saying that to Callum, they must have had it must have been sensational in that corner. I mean, I think they're probably going to get kept in the stadium for 45 minutes to an hour, but that won't
2
matter.
hours, I was seeing in the reports.
That won't matter a jot, because they've seen their team, and the majority of the guys and girls that are there today are the hardcore, the people that follow the club, home, abroad, all over the place. So we deserve it. They deserve it. The players deserve it. The manager deserves it. It's about restoring a wee bit of pride, and that's what we've done. We've done that today, and I'm looking forward to the sort of. There's undoubtedly going to be something that's going to be offended. They're going to be offended by something. Václav Černý, I'm understanding, is the
I
one
gave him
that.
a wash.
So I think Czerny's the one that's been getting the stick in the dugout, obviously, when the goals went in, and they don't like it. What is it they say? They don't like it up them sort of situation, you know.
Aye.
So it's Celtic have dominated over the last so many years, and they're probably going to go on to win a treble again. So good luck to them. But Curry said earlier on, today is great. It's about the bragging rights. We can all go into work tomorrow online or into our offices and into our factories and all that sort of stuff with big smiles on our face, knowing that we've left a mark on them. And Rangers may be going to end the season without any domestic trophies, but that Rangers team have shown today what is possible against Celtic if we can fix the rest of the opposition, beating the rest of the opposition in Scotland, because the way that Barry and his staff have set up today, that's the standard now. That's the way to play in the game, particularly when you go across there. I think spot on tactically. So absolutely fantastic.
Aye, that's it, mate. That's it. Fun fact, I recently got someone started working for me at my job. And it wasn't until after I found out he was a Celtic fan, unfortunately. So, you know, we've all got troubles, but yeah, can't wait till Monday to say hello to him. I've got a feeling I'll be told to shut up. Well, Cammy, thanks for joining me. As I say, actually just delighted that we've got a positive Old Firm result and we've managed to do the reaction to it. I think might have to knock it on the head there.
That's back to be honest. I'm sure we've done the one at New Year as well. But I think back to back Old Firm victories, we've done 3-0, 4-0 defeats across recent years. So I think it's one to enjoy, and one where we can all have a good Sunday afternoon into Sunday night and enjoy the international break now with no Rangers until I think we go to Dundee at the end of the month, and then obviously we've got the Bilbao double header to look forward to. And you just don't know. I said last night, this Rangers team is bipolar, and they are bipolar. You just don't know what you're going to get. But today, we've seen a Rangers team to be proud of, and hopefully we see more of that in the future.
That's it, mate. That's it. And thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Pleasure as always, mate. For those watching, if you have liked what you've heard, please do like and subscribe to the video. Just a reminder, the pod is sponsored by Off to the Match I Go. You can find them online and on Facebook. And if you use the code Journal10, you'll receive a 10% discount. But for today, as Cammy has said, just enjoy it, folks. Every night's a Rangers Journal night.